We're live. Took us back an
We are
upgrade.
live.
Yes, we
What's
are
up,
live.
man?
Listen, man, how's it been? What has it been? 3-4 weeks, maybe half a year?
Maybe half a year, something like that. No, dude, it's been we just missed last week. Come on, man.
Listen, we missed so much time that we don't even got Moose on here. It's unbelievable.
He's on a different time zone. I mean, he's completely. Well, I think that he's on the astral plane right now.
Oh yeah, you know what? He probably thinks it's Wednesday. He probably thinks it's Wednesday. He's like, hey, when do you guys podcast? It's Tuesday.
What time? What time?
Yeah, what time? 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock. Okay. Yeah, so it's just you and I tonight. You and I
It is,
tonight.
man.
Listen, I want you to you got to say it at least twice tonight. I agree with you, Game God. I want to hear it twice.
Listen, I can count on 2 fingers how many times I've agreed with you in the past 10 plus years of podcasting. I'm just saying.
You know what's funny is that you say 10 plus there. You know, when we see people, we talk about how long we've been podcasting. I think you get to 10 and you just forget how much after that. It's like 10 plus whatever. Because it's been more than 10. Like, I'm like, I have to start counting like 10, 11, 12. 13. You know, like we've been podcasting for quite some time. And I gotta tell you, it's at least 5 fingers, not 2. So
I don't think so.
Yeah, yes.
I don't think so.
I think when we hit the next milestone, I'm gonna find every episode.
Yeah. You do that. As a matter of fact, I'm disagreeing with you now, and that's how we know it hasn't happened that often. So,
man, it goes back to like pre-Labo days. You used to agree with
pre-Labo. I don't know if we count those. Do we count those days? Pre-Labo.
Hey, Labo's when Game Guy came off his rocker. Like, man, what happened? he used to know what he was talking about.
How much money did you lose when you sold your stock on Labo?
Hey, let's just say I don't want to talk about it. So yeah, that bad boy. It was like there was a paper shredding contest when that happened. It's like,
man, get rid of the evidence. Get rid of it. The problem was that was the same thing you were building your stuff with.
Oh, whatever. Hey, so real quick, I got a tiny show and tell here, just something small, nothing crazy. It's probably the worst habit that I've picked up in the last 6-7 months.
Oh yeah, I know what habit this is.
Yeah, I think you know what the habit is.
I know what habit. Vroom.
Yeah, exactly right. I found 2 more.
Oh man,
this is pretty cool. I found a Thundercats.
Oh, a Thundercats. Oh, that's different now because most of them you've been collecting has been Star Wars.
Yeah. There's a Thundercats one.
Very nice. I love that.
One of that. Goes with my collection, and of course, Back to the Future. I have the first DeLorean. I have the second DeLorean.
Oh boy,
I've got the third one now.
Oh, very nice.
The one from the train.
Yeah, I see that. I like the wheels there too, just like it.
So hey. These ain't your normal ones, man. Hot Wheels are usually like $1, $1.25. These bad boys were $5.
I was gonna say, yeah, they're like $5 to $10 typically for those.
Yeah, these are the they spent extra on the ink,
I've seen some Star Wars ones recently in an auction, and I was looking at, I was kind of bidding on some of it, but it's like they going too high for my price. I'm like, nah.
Well, here's the thing. I've seen Star Wars themed Hot Wheels, right? And I'm like, but it's just a car with a paint job, right? Like if it was like, like say for example, I think last week or 2 weeks ago, I showed you the Enterprise.
Man,
if there was a bird of prey, I'd pick it up, right? Like
absolutely,
like the iconic ones. I don't want to have a car that has a bird of prey decal.
No, you don't want that. You might as well get the Trans Am. That's the same thing. Smokey and the Bandit
with the T-top. Nobody knew what we're talking about there. So
nope.
What you got? Down. What do you got? You said you got something?
Oh yeah. So let me show you a couple things. This is going to be based on. I'm going to have a little surprise topic for you as well. But this is going to give it away.
By the way, your shirt is awesome. Your shirt is awesome.
Thank you.
I'm waiting for you to scroll up.
Yeah, well, based on what's behind me, because I am in a hotel again.
Okay,
I was just traveling where it's at. But I'm going to show you
show and tell and traveling.
Yeah, so I got a couple things here. This is a little something here.
Oh, you went?
Yes.
Wow, how was it?
Oh, we're going to talk about that.
Okay.
That's one of the show and tells, and then
look at that! I can't believe you. May the 4th be with you. 2024 limited edition.
Yeah, man.
Nice. What line did you stand in for that one?
So hold on, we'll get to that.
Okay. Oh, now I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I wasn't excited before that. Now I'm excited.
As a matter of fact, let's just go ahead and get started. We're not going to have intro tonight, so let's get started with that. And I'll start off with my visit to Disneyland Star Wars Nights. How about that?
Man, is that new?
It's something that I'm only aware of that's happened this year. I haven't seen it before.
Okay. So
And
tell us, when is it?
Disneyland, it's is it still going on? I don't know. Maybe going on. This may be the last week.
Okay, I'll check it
I
out.
went this past week. I just went for a one night type of deal, and it starts at 6 o'clock and ends at 1 o'clock
Oh, wow.
in the morning.
You were out that late?
I was, man. It was rough. No, maybe it starts at 6. Yeah, I think it starts at 6. I'm trying to remember now because what they do is they start closing down the park as they start to get everybody else to leave. Maybe it was 9 o'clock. Wow, maybe it was 9. I don't know. Anyway, it's not important. But so you get the special wristband that you get to put on, and you also have something else.
9 to 1. You were right. 9 to 1.
Okay, 9 to 1. They also have something else that I'm not going to show you or tell you yet because it's a surprise for you and Moose later.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
so you go in there and then you get to do these different. You have the wristband, so they start ushering people out on 8 o'clock. Just like a army of people going through the park around 8 o'clock, saying, "Hey, we got to show your wristband," so on and so forth. And if you don't have a wristband, you have to leave.
So something like
Um,
a Hollywood, like a Horror Nights, Universal Horror
Something
Nights.
like that. Yes, correct. And so as we're we walking around, we got there early. We got there about 6 is what it was. So we
Okay.
get there, and when they start the special stuff, when they have they're selling some stuff, special items, special collectibles, special food, special things in general. And so I'm like, okay, when it gets this time, I want to get to the specific store because it's limited edition, limited quantities, and so on and so forth.
Okay.
So I get to the place and I'm like, oh man. So I walk into the store, it's in the front of the park, and it is packed as far as the line goes. Nobody's shopping anywhere else because they only want to get the collectible stuff at this point. Everybody's in line, and they start saying, "Oh, we're out of these sizes," and this is about 10 till 9.
Mm. So it's not it hasn't even kicked off really.
Well, that's part of the issue. So this is my only issue with the whole night. Then I get into the fun stuff. And so as I get in line, I'm like, so I'm just curious, if you're out of stuff, I said, if you say something's going to start at this time, why would you start earlier? Why? Because they said, they started selling stuff about 8:30,
Oh, wow.
30 minutes early
Wow.
before the time they said they was going to start. So of course I wasn't in line yet because I wasn't expecting. I was going, okay, I'll get there and be plenty of
I
stuff.
got
But
time.
no,
I got time.
they sold out a lot of the stuff. I got a couple other things which I'll show for another show and tell later. But it was really cool, man. The entire time I was there, one of the first I'll talk about some food. So that was one of the cool things too. So you had some special items that I enjoyed. There was the Princess Sundae. So I had like two cinnamon buns or whatever they were, some kind of pastry,
Uh-huh.
and then ice cream and some kind of other cream on top, which was delicious. It was really good. It was awesome. And then
$25.
there was the other thing that I really enjoyed. What's that?
$25.
No, it wasn't that much, but it felt like it was. The other thing that I enjoyed was what they called swamp water. So those are my two favorite things that I had while I was there. It was green, but man, it was delicious. It was good stuff. But it was an awesome event. We had our own DJ, and I say we because the whole park, right? But I'm going to say we as fans had our own DJ. As you walk down Main Street, they have one side is the Rebel Alliance, one side is the
Oh,
Empire.
wow.
So you
Nice.
can see how they have it lit up. And so throughout the whole night, you're voting on who you want to win the vote. Who's going to take it be on top at the end of the
Messiah
night.
you on. Yep.
Right. And of course, it was the Rebels in the end.
Okay.
I know what you would have voted, but
Of
you
course.
weren't
Of
there. Yeah.
course.
And
I
they
would
had
have
different,
voted multiple times.
you would have. And they had different places where you could get pictures with different backdrops. And one of the ones was the Emperor's chair. So, of course, I got in his throne, got a couple pics there. But one of the, they had some lightsaber meetups.
Oh, that
And
must have been nice.
yes, the lines were great because obviously it was limited to the people who were there for that. So we had like a 10-minute wait for Rise of oh my gosh, Rise of the Resistance.
Okay.
Smuggler's Run was like a 10-minute wait, and so
Oh,
these are really
wow.
quick.
So,
You don't
so it
get
was
that.
a fraction of the
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. This is great because you feel important. You're like, oh, we got to see your wristband. You're just like, I got it right here. I'm important.
Yeah.
It's
Hey,
me.
move out
It's
the way.
Magic Mike. In case you didn't know.
know.
But one of the coolest things is I was sitting down on a bench next to someone else, and while other people went on a ride, and we just started talking Star Wars.
Nice.
And this was one of those events where everybody's there for the same reason. And I had like a handful of lightsabers because they don't always let you dress up in character because they don't want to interfere with the
Correct.
ambience of the place. So, but people were dressed up in character, and they had everybody had a lightsaber for the most part. And of course, I was holding a couple of them because I had like four in my hand because they were other people going to rise, and the lady was like, "Are those the real deal?" I was like, "Of course they are. Just don't get too close. I might cut you. Don't want to let it off your hand." But she was like, "Oh, can I see them?" And she was touching them and feeling them. And then her other party came back and they wanted to see them. I'm like, "Yeah, you got to go.
Or you
You got
felt
to
like
go
a
check these out."
celebrity.
Yes, exactly. But that was so cool because there aren't that many places where you're always there. Everybody's there for the same thing, and you could just talk about Star Wars.
Mhm.
And to me, that was the coolest thing about being there. But it was an awesome event. I'm glad. Obviously, there was a money maker piece to it because the stuff wasn't cheap.
Of course.
I dropped a little bit of money more than the $9.95.
You did a
Um,
moose trip. I got you.
well, it was probably more like a between Game God Moose trip. The
Okay. All right.
9.95 and the 5 grand Moose
Okay.
typically drops when he takes a
Yeah,
visit.
yep, that's true. That's true.
But man, it was great. I loved it, every bit of it, and I would absolutely do it again.
Oh, I'm jelly. As you were talking there, just pulling up some info for the folks listening. So it's on certain evenings. So it's
Yes,
there's the 16th, the 18th, the 23rd. So that's tonight.
tonight. Hmm.
The 25th, the 30th, and then as well as May 2nd, 7th, and 9th, with May the 4th being a private party inside.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
I can only imagine what May the 4th is going to be like in there.
Well, and I ran to for some reason in my mind, all I could think of was Darth Maul's lightsaber.
Really.
It doesn't come out till May 4th, and I knew that, but I just had to go. Is the new one here? I'm running in. I'm like, wait a minute, there's no line. What's going on? Yeah, no,
Did
it's
you
not.
get to see the while you were there? Did you get to see Ahsoka's new lightsabers, the one that has the blade attached to it?
Uh,
So
well,
they
the
they
new one.
have they have one that's like how with the black saber came in as the dark saber. I mean, came all it's already connected.
No, the only one I saw. So the only two that I know of is there's one that's the silver
Hmm.
cylindrical ones, and then the other two which she has in the Ahsoka show, which is they're more like it's not like a square, but where you hold, yeah, but you could hold them without the blades.
Yeah, no, then you didn't see they may have not had them there. That was the last ones I saw
I
when I
didn't
was
ask for it because
yeah
I just looked at what was in the display.
yeah
I
no,
asked to see those specific ones, and they were a lighter. Um,
they weren't as heavy.
maybe they did have the blades in them.
Yeah, I think they did, and they feel real. Did they feel chintzy to you?
Well, so Ahsoka's lightsabers anyway are light. I don't know if you felt the silver ones.
Yes,
Those are lightweight as well, and I think to do that because you're carrying two of them,
yes.
because it can get heavy after a while with those lightsabers that they have. But yeah, so I definitely like the OGs better without question.
Yeah, so man, I'm jelly, man. That's awesome. You went there. You got a shirt. You got a pin, man. Just the pin alone, I'd take. Man, I can't only imagine what because I've seen it. I've been there in just regular, right? Just regular
Yeah,
Disney. And this is Disneyland, not Disney World, right? This is not
correct.
okay. Yeah, so I've been to obviously the Disney World parks at night, and they're cool at night, man. It's just a whole different.
Mhm.
It is a different feel to it. So imagine just having people who are about Star Wars, just only Star Wars people. That's incredible. That's
Yeah,
incredible.
yeah.
Man, I'm glad you went. I'm glad you got to experience that.
Yeah, me too. I wasn't sure if I wanted to go, meaning that to travel that distance for that short a time and so on, and spend that money because
Oh yeah, you were
I knew I
spending
was
some
gonna
money that night.
I knew I was gonna spend some money.
And by the way, just so you know, all the events in May are sold out.
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I believe it because I think word starts getting out, going, "Hey, this is what's going on." Plus, people, school is starting to let out and things of that nature.
Mhm. Well, here's
'Cause
here's the thing I'm going to ask you, Magic Mike. So you went to this event, you spent some money, right?
Mhm,
They made some money because that place was
mhm.
probably packed, right? And probably they probably had some of the existing food and just added some stuff and then charged three
Probably
times the
so.
price,
You're probably
right?
right.
Right. But it's the experience, right?
Yeah.
So why would you get rid of the Galactic Star Cruiser?
Well, first of all, You're not paying 169 a night for the Galactic Star Cruiser.
I get it. I get it.
So,
I get it.
no,
There's
but
the
that
price.
you have to understand, that's where I think that's where you start to price yourself out of the
So change the price.
everyday fan.
Try to change the price. I bet you if you and I don't want to revisit a topic, right?
Yeah, yeah,
I don't
yeah,
want to revisit this topic. I'm just pointing out a fact. Even I think it was like 3 grand. It was 3 grand for the
something
whole
like
thing.
that, yeah, a night, yeah.
Listen, cut it in half, 1,500. I bet you sell tickets at $1,500.
You might, but here's the thing, and so this is what I want to leave with on this particular topic,
Mhm,
or with Disneyland specifically here, and that or Disney in general. You know, I don't remember how many years ago it was that Disney, acquired the IP for Star Wars. There are a
mhm,
lot of people that were upset over it. It's gotten better over the years, but I can tell you
mhm.
this: if Disney didn't have this property at this time, we would not have Star Wars nights. And
You're right.
this is what makes it so great as part of why they did acquire that IP, along with other IPs, which we're going to talk about, some
Yeah.
Deadpool and
Yep.
Wolverine in a minute. So, but I am glad that they did because these are the kind of special things that make it fun. And I would love to go to the Galactic Star Cruiser. I get that piece of it, but I can tell you that for what it costs and what they had there, it was worth it. I don't know that the Galactic Star Cruiser would be worth it. Obviously, it wasn't for most people because they didn't do it. So.
Yeah. It's just I when I hear these things, I just feel it's a lost opportunity. But you know what's not a lost opportunity? Deadpool Wolverine. Um, you saw this trailer just came
I
out
did.
a couple of days ago, maybe yesterday. I don't know when it came out. A couple of days. I think it was yesterday it came out.
Yeah, it was yesterday, I believe. Yeah.
So full trailer. I think this is like a
Mhm.
2.5 minute trailer. And I know that the first trailer that came out was around Super Bowl Sunday,
Mhm.
and they didn't show Wolverine. We know Wolverine was in it, but they didn't really show anything, right?
At the end, I believe.
Yeah, yeah. But he didn't talk or anything like that, right?
Mhm.
So this trailer comes out, and oh man, you get your fair share of Wolverine in this trailer. And I wanna know what do you feel? What did you think of this trailer when you saw it, Magic Mike?
So here's a couple things here. It did not feel like you said it was 2 minutes. It did not feel like it was 2 plus minutes.
Okay,
And here's what is great about it, versus other trailers. Like we talked about the Rebel Moon trailer, which we'll talk about Rebel Moon coming up soon, the second release. But that trailer felt like you saw the whole movie.
correct.
You did not feel like this with this trailer. And this is the second trailer versus the first trailer, which I don't even remember. There's probably some shots that are the same, but most of the shots are different. There's some different views, some different scenes. And so I felt like that this was another lead into another story. Matter of fact, I had forgotten about the first trailer and related to the TVA. And then we got this trailer, and it's just like, oh, it's completely different. This is exciting. There are so many things in this trailer. I will tell you this. I'm a little concerned. This is not a family friendly trailer, which means
It's
it's not a
definitely not.
family friendly movie.
It's definitely not.
I wish that because they could have done without some of those things. I'll leave that at that. But man, there's some cool things. And in this trailer, as we started watching it, and it goes along. So one of the cool things is we just talked about Layfield's book coming out, right?
Yes,
Well, there's
yes,
a shot
yes, yes. I
that
saw it.
Layfield's Just Feet store because he's kind of known for in his comics that he draws these great characters, and the feet are like little like rectangles or triangles, and so it was so great when I saw that. I was like, oh, that's hilarious.
Yep.
But that's part of it, right?
Those are the subtle details. Thanks for letting me get some stuff in there. I appreciate it. I thought you were gonna start
Sorry.
getting them.
No,
No, no,
no,
you're
no.
good. I thought you were
I'm
good.
looking at my notes. I'm like, I gotta stop.
Yeah. So listen, you put this trailer on, and the very first thing you see is Wolverine,
Yeah.
right? And I'm like, we've been teased with behind the scenes shots. The outfit,
Mhm.
amazing, right? The classic Wolverine outfit, right? Um, Hugh Jackman doesn't look like he aged a day. I can tell you right now, he looks the same as he's been in the movies. But
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much wittiness to this. You brought up a point where you said the first trailer that came out in the Super Bowl and this trailer, two different trailers, right?
Mhm.
But I don't feel like I've seen the movie. Like I'm still trying to say what's going on here. So I wanna drop some what we've seen in the background and some of the
Okay.
let's start with the
Okay.
obvious, right? Because they
Okay.
actually talk in the trailer. Um Cassandra Nova,
Yes.
right? Because now for those who don't know, right, this is Charles Xavier's sister,
Twin sister.
twin sister, exactly right,
Mhm.
right, and she's no joke. She's
Yeah.
got some power. She's wrecking havoc, right, and so you see her, and you actually see her doing some stuff with her hand, just controlling Wolverine, and I was like, oh man, that's not good.
No.
That's not good, right? You mentioned the TVA, right? We knew that was from the other trailer, but
Mhm.
I, I I like the way that I feel that they're taking elements of movies and shows that we've seen, and they're kind of like peppering them in. Now I don't know what's this going to mean, right? I don't know if they're poking fun or if it's actually going to connect everything together. But I like that we didn't throw away the TVA, so the Loki series doesn't feel like it's a waste,
Right.
right? I do like that. I do like the fact that you saw the portal. Look like
Mhm.
there's a little Doctor
Yep.
Strange Wong action going on
Yep.
there, right? And then you saw some characters, right? You there's some characters you
Okay.
saw. Go ahead,
Yeah.
tell me what
So
you
some of
saw.
the characters. So and here's where let me just jump into add this piece. Cassandra Nova could replace. Oh, I just forgot his name.
Oh, you
As
talk about the guy from the Avengers.
no, the
Uh,
bad guy. She could replace. Through Loki. Oh my gosh, the bad guy
the
in Loki. Come
yeah,
on,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Kang.
Kang. Thank you. Yes. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's
So
just
he.
Avengers. Kang.
Okay, I gotcha. Yeah, she could replace Kang as the bad guy, and we wouldn't skip a beat. This would
Nope,
work
not at
perfectly
all.
if they
Not at
go this
all.
direction. Okay, so going to some of the characters we saw, I saw Azazel in there.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Lady Deathstrike, I'm pretty sure,
Yep. I saw
and
her
at
too with
some
her
point,
fingers.
I think we see Toad. And what would really be cool if we got Ray Park back as Toad, that would be awesome. I
Yep.
I don't know if that would be the case or not. I haven't seen that,
Hmm.
but if we did, that would be awesome. But here's one of the things that I just want to get this out real quick. That was so cool. I really like is that through Cassandra Nova, through her storyline in the comics, she's the one who finds Master Mold and destroys Genosha.
Yep.
We just saw we
Don't
just
lead
saw
into
some.
it. Don't lead into
I
it.
know, I know. We just
Don't
saw
lead
some of
into
these
it.
things. We'll talk about that in a minute. But it feels like everything is coming together, and they're going to bring the X-Men truly into the screen again.
So I love it. There's a lot of stuff there. You mentioned two characters there. You obviously saw the Ant-Man's head helmet.
Yes,
I thought that
and the
was pretty
skull
cool.
inside of it.
Yep, yep. I thought that was pretty cool. And did you see Pyro is there?
I did.
So
Yeah, saw
Pyro is
Pyro.
there as well. We knew
You know,
that.
when they were in the void, did you see? This is just a funny piece. There was a in the void. There was a 20th Century Fox sign broken and
No,
laying in the
I
void.
did
I
see
thought that
that.
was
I did
hilarious.
see
Okay.
that. Uh,
Yes.
if you see in the background, so if you watch the Loki season 1, Eliath is there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so when they're jumping into the portal, that purple cloud in the background, that's
Oh,
Eliath.
I didn't see that. Okay.
Yes. So Eliath is there. And now this is not in the trailer, but if you're looking at the cast members, if you go in to see who's in the cast,
Moose isn't
and
here, so you can spoil it. I don't care.
yeah, and I'm gonna give you time. If you're listening, you got about 10 seconds. We're gonna give you a little 10-second break to come back. So count 10 seconds and come back. Here's your spoiler alert. Jennifer Gardner is coming as Elektra,
Oh,
right? So she's gonna be in
wow.
it, right? And there's rumors, right? At this point, there's rumors that Dazzler is going to be in the movie. And it's going to be played, I don't know if this is sure or not, by Taylor Swift.
Really? No,
Mhm.
I don't believe it.
Yeah. Well, hey, listen, we're talking about Ryan Reynolds, right? And I think
Yeah.
everybody loves Ryan Reynolds in Hollywood, right?
Yeah, they do.
He's a very likable guy. I think if there's anyone who can pull people in there just for cameos, it's Ryan Reynolds, man. This guy can put
Yeah.
them in there, you know. And there's also a rumor, again, just a rumor that Tony Stark might make an appearance,
Oh, wow. No, I
right?
hadn't heard that. I had not
Yeah.
heard that from our
So
source.
so so listen, I, I heard you have mentioned there's some language, right?
Mhm.
It is R rated. Just want you to know, everybody out there, it's gonna be
Yeah.
R rated. I hope that later on they create a PG-13 version, right?
Come on.
Which I mean they could do it after the
None of
release.
the Deadpools have been released as a
I
PG-13 version.
listen. I think he did I think two. I think two. He released it afterwards on
Are you sure?
Blu-ray as a PG-13 version.
Hmm.
I could be wrong, but it's expected with Deadpool, unfortunately. But man, if you
It
put
doesn't
that
have
to the
to be, but
side, it doesn't have to be. If you put that aside, I think this is actually going to be the sleeper story hit. I think this, if it's what it's looking like, and to what you're just saying, Magic Mike, it looks like it's like the glue that's going to
mhm.
collect everything together. and I
this
didn't
could
think
certainly
Deadpool would do it.
this could certainly be the revival for MCU without question. If they're able to do what we saw in the trailer, if they start bringing these characters into play and start putting things together, like with X-Men '97, then this is going to be a great lead into the future for MCU, at least for the next few years.
And since you brought up X-Men '97, I'll let you tie it in. How about
Okay.
that?
So in X-Men '97, I'm going to go straight to this point that I was going to make. In
Okay, go
X-Men
ahead.
'97, we do see Master Mole, we do see the destruction of Genosha,
Mhm.
and we don't right now. What we've seen from the evil guy, the main evil guy in X-Men '97, is not Cassandra, but she could be in there somewhere. But it's Mr. Sinister, right? And
Mhm.
so, he's a great character too because we got to see him in the early the early
He definitely
X-Men.
looks meaner this time around.
Man, he looks really, really good. But I gotta tell you, I am loving this show. It's a
How
great
much show, Magic Mike? How much are you loving this show? Tell me how much.
well, that's what I'm telling you. I'm loving it. I'm loving all the things about it because you get the animation that you want, you get the sound that you want, you get the I still struggle with Morph's voice. but uh, but other than that, I mean, you have, and I'm going to let you take some of this stuff because I know you want to say something about you want to say that you were right about something,
Oh,
and
absolutely.
I think we all were, but that's just my opinion. But go ahead.
I want to point out, so before we get to the elephant in the room, I want to point
Okay.
out some of the side episodes. I love the story of Storm. We all know she lost her powers, I think in
Hmm.
episode 2 or
Two,
episode
I believe
3.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she went on this, journey. She came across Forge, and I love that side story. And man, when spoiler alert, when she gets her powers back,
Oh.
man, I got goosebumps, man. When she came out there, oh man, there was a line she said about thunder and lightning. I am thunder, or something like that. Right before she got her powers, and I love the buildup where you see the wind starts to
Hmm.
rustle and everything like that. They made her in her little. It was a 2-part episode. They made her so vulnerable, right, that you
Hmm.
felt for her, right, and that's what this show does a great job. It's a 30-minute episode, maybe 40-minute episode per episode show, right? And they
Okay.
get you to get the feelsies. They get you to get in there and get invested to these characters.
Yeah.
And I love her breakdown and rebuilding of her. So I love that.
What
Uh
made it great? Sorry, what made it great with her is that I believe it was in the first episode when was it the first episode? Now I'm starting to think if it was the old X-Men, where I think it's the first episode when they say like, there's a class 5, or they what do they call, what kind of mutant do they call her? It,
Omega threat.
Omega, Omega level
Yeah.
mutant that's coming in, and it's her that comes. And I was like, I don't remember hearing about her before, and
Hmm.
that's what's so great about this. So now it makes sense because now it feels like she's discovered where her true power, and she is that Omega level. And by the
Correct.
way, she sounds great still. I
She
love
does.
her
She does.
her
She
voice.
does. Awesome. I love the episode with Mojo. I thought that was a pretty cool episode. A little video game action there, right?
Yeah, lost a little weight.
Yep. Yeah, you look a little thin. Got some cutbacks.
Yes.
But and let's talk about the episode everybody's talked about, right?
Okay.
That's episode 5 called Remember It, right? That's the episode where it's Gambit, Magneto,
Hmm.
Rogue. They go to, I believe, it's not Genosha. It is Genosha, isn't it? They
Yeah.
go to that island, right? It's Genosha, I believe it's Genosha, and it's like thriving, right?
Yes. Yep.
Paradise. And in that episode, you see everybody. You see
Yes.
Leech. You see, I think I saw Armor. I saw definitely. I saw Dazzler was in there.
Yep.
You see everybody who's everybody. Sebastian Stan. I can't even say his name right. From the Hellfire Club. And the white.
Oh yeah. Oh, just yeah.
Yeah, the White Queen was there. So you had all those people there. Everybody was there. And then the unthinkable happens, right? You're like, it's great. And there's a build-up between Rogue and Magneto, and they got some really iconic lines. I'm not gonna quote them. Everybody knows the lines they've said, right? Even Nightcrawler gives a line to Gambit, something about love and
Yeah.
pain or something like that. Anyway, you see Cable. Cable comes out of nowhere. Hey, Cable, I'm like, what? Wait a minute. And he's rushing, like he's trying to, I gotta
Yes.
hurry up. I gotta hurry up. And then he looks in the background, and all you see is green explosions in the background,
Yes.
right? Right. And what I'm like, what's going on? What's going? Because the last thing I'm thinking is what happens, right? I'm like, what's going on? And he runs into Goblin Queen,
Mhm.
Madeline Pryor, and he says, "I'm sorry, mom." Like he couldn't get got here too late. Like
Yes,
and
yeah.
it pulls him back in, and all of a sudden you see this like what they call it, a Giga Sentinel, like a
Yeah,
Godzilla type, a 3 or 4 headed
whatever it
Sentinel
was ridiculous.
wiping everything out, wipe like pure carnage. Magic Mike, I've seen some episodes of X-Men where you're like, oh, they'll make it through. They'll make it through.
Yeah.
Not this episode.
No, you're exactly right. This is kind of what I was alluding to with Cassandra and what's in the comics. That's what happens in the comics as well. But yeah, I did not expect. As I'm watching this, I'm like, okay, am I being punked here, or is this somebody's dream? This isn't really happening,
Mhm.
and it does. It absolutely happens.
You see. First of all, you mentioned the Omega threat. I love how the Sentinels are attacking mutants, and they're just saying threat detected, threat detected,
Yes,
threat,
yeah,
and
exactly.
then they turn on and they look at Magneto, Omega threat, and then they
Yeah, yeah,
focus,
exactly.
and
Yeah.
even they go from red laser beams to green, right?
Yes.
And here is where you see Magneto humanized, right? Like you start to feel bad for this guy. Like
Yeah,
you say,
because we're still second guessing if he's the good guy
correct,
now, right? We're still going, nah, we don't trust him. We just don't
yeah.
trust him.
Yeah, and how he saves Rogue and Gambit,
Yes.
and she
Yeah.
says, "No, don't do this," and he's like, man." I'm like,
Yeah.
dust got in my eyes a little bit, and so even when all that was said, they beamed them, and they said Omega threat eliminated, and they start walking. I'm like, no,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
and then you start to see. First of all, can I tell you, Rogue is underplayed. She is more powerful than they need to unleash her because
And they
she's got
might
some
still,
power.
yeah. I think that there's only so much they're going to do right now because Gambit seems, I mean, when he
Where did Gambit get all those moves from?
he sacrifices himself, right, and
Yep.
destroys and destroys a whole Sentinel.
Yep, yep.
Um,
Oh man, so you lose Gambit, you
mhm,
lose you lose Magneto. I was gonna say
yep.
Megatron. You lose Magneto, right? And so the episode ends with Rogue holding Gambit, saying, "I don't feel him," and that's how the
Yes.
episode ends. I'm like, right? And so I say to myself, they'll be back next episode, right? They'll be in a hospital bed or something like that. Well, guess what? Next episode, they're not even in the
They're not
intro
even in it.
anymore. They took
Yep.
them out the intro. They replaced Gambit with Nightcrawler. I'm like, oh, that's wrong.
That can't be
And
this can't be right. This can't
yeah,
be right.
yeah. And so episode 6 was the closeout of the half of the Storm story, and to what you were saying that I've been saying from the get, Professor X comes out. And
Yes.
and and I love the fact that it isn't like, oh man, they just put him in there just to put him in there. It makes sense. All the story makes sense.
Yeah, everything flows together. It's well done. These are all things that we're familiar with. I love the fact that and of course, what was really interesting is you see him walking around, and you're like, "Oh, what's going on here?"
Mhm.
But yeah, obviously, it's part of the whole deal where he's in a machine that's able to do that.
Correct.
And
Yeah,
then
he's not healed.
you see some of his power come out a little more as well, because we haven't seen that really in a while, and he really kind of just says, "Students," and literally sits them down in the classroom and said, "We're going to work this out. We're going to
Yep.
make this happen
Raise your
so
hand.
we can come together." Yes, exactly right.
Raise your hand.
Exactly right.
Well, you
Because
see a lot of people, by the way, in this episode. You see Gladiator, you see Ronan, the accuser,
Mhm. Oh,
right?
that was so cool. We saw Ronan. I have not seen Ronan in this type of setting other than only in the MCU, and I thought
Yep.
this was awesome.
Yeah. And the intro, too, by the way, to this episode showed Master Mode, right?
I didn't
It
even notice that.
Yeah, Master Mode was in the intro. Also, Nimrod is in the intro to this episode.
Oh, I
So
didn't even I must have been getting something to drink.
yeah, so the whole intro to this episode 6 has either spoilers or what's to come. But you saw Nimrod, you did see Master Mode, you saw Gladiator, you saw some of the characters. You
Mhm.
actually even see Gambit fighting Gladiator, by the way. So I'm wondering about that. But nevertheless, you see all these people, and the show writer, he had made a comment on Twitter or some kind of social media feed there that he says, if you thought episode 5 was top of the line, he goes, wait till you see what I have in store for 8, 9, and 10.
Oh, wow.
I can't wait, man.
Yeah, this is exciting. And along with the Deadpool and Wolverine movie, um, because it seems like 'cause we don't know what verse they come from, right?
No.
Which Wolverine it is, stuff like that. So we can see some of that come into play here too, where we're not sure what verse this is, and where we might see, if Gamut is coming back or how that happens, because it almost feels like if Gamut comes back or Magneto comes back now, I'm not sure how to play that, because
Mhm.
I think that was emotional, and if they bring him back, it might take away the emotion that they caused. So I don't know what they'll do with
Hey,
that.
and just so you know, in that episode that everything happened, right before
Mhm.
Cable comes out, they
Yeah,
pan from the sky down. Did you notice what was in the sky?
I did not.
The Watcher.
I did not notice that.
Yes, go back and watch that episode,
Oh,
right?
wow.
Yeah, so right before Cable comes out, right? They show the night sky and you see the Watcher's silhouette. He's watching.
Interesting. That is
Yes.
incredible.
Yes. So those
So
are
we
the
may get a
little
multiverse piece into this.
yeah, so these are the nuances, right? That you're starting to see, right? So the time traveling and everything with
Yeah.
Cable. So listen, show's been great. New episode tomorrow, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I believe it's tomorrow. New episode.
Yep.
And I can't wait. I can't. Oh, and by the way, in the intro as well, you see Dark Phoenix is back. Jean Grey
Oh.
is in her Dark Phoenix outfit.
Well, I think it was in, like, one of the original or one of the first 2 episodes they had her in the intro, but I hadn't seen her since. That's cool that
Yeah, the
that
hair
she's
is
back.
down now and
Yes,
everything.
yes.
Yeah, so
Or maybe I
so
did see it in that one, I don't know. I don't remember. They all run
yeah.
together after a little while.
Well, now I give you some homework. Go back to that episode just to look for Watcher. It looks so cool. When you see it, you're like, oh, like how did I
I
miss
would've that's exactly what I would've done. I'd have been like, "Did you
Yeah,
are you
yeah, yeah.
sure?" Yeah, yeah.
So that brings us to the last topic of the night, right? And
Yeah.
what is that? Well, I can tell you, it's the guy in the background here. It's
Oh,
the show Fallout.
Fallout.
And it obviously on Prime. It's a Prime show, and we were waiting
Yes.
for it, Fallout from the game. And I'm gonna take the reins on this one and lead us off, if you don't mind, Magic Mike.
Please do.
Um, we're gonna only cover the first 2 episodes, right?
Okay.
I just wanted to say that I know all the episodes are out. I think it's 8
Mhm.
episodes, right?
Yes.
8 or 10. I think it's 8.
It is
All the
8.
episodes out. They came out. Man, these first of all, the episodes are like an hour and 10 minutes long.
Yes, yeah, this is not typical of what we've had recently.
Yeah, so I was happy to see that. I turned it on. I watched the first episode, and I gotta tell you, I'm watching it, and I'm like, okay, they got the outfits, they're in the vaults, right? I love how it starts with an A bomb and another A bomb, and so I'm like, wow, this is so they give you just a little bit, just enough backstory to tell you what's going
Mhm.
on. And then you get into the Fallout piece where you start to recognize Fallout. And I thought the first episode was a little slow, right? I'll tell you
Okay.
that. I thought it was a little slow up until obviously the 2 vaults open up, right? When the Raiders or I think they're called Raiders
The Raiders, yeah.
started, yeah. But up until that part, I'm like, what am I watching? Right? I started to get that feeling where I'm like, is this just a rip off of the name to sell the show, and we're just gonna get some twisted story, right?
Okay.
Um, but when the Raiders came out and it started getting crazy, I'm like, okay, this is the game I recognize, because in the game, the Raiders are no joke. I know they're just regular enemies, but they're ruthless, right? So it starts to fit. First episode gets through. Episode 1 ends. I'm still not sold. I'm still trying to piece it together. I'm like, there's not enough there, not enough meat on the bones
Mm,
for me. Um, until we get to episode 2. And in
okay.
episode 2, that's when you see the bucket heads, the
Right.
Brotherhood of
Yeah, the
Steel.
Brotherhood, yes.
Brotherhood of Steel. You get to see outside now. They're out the vault. They're out on the
Mhm.
regular. So you get to see that. First of all, I love the background. I love the backdrops outside. I think they did a great job creating that apocalyptic feel of what it feels like. And then you start to meet some characters, right? So what do you think of episode 1 so far before I start talking about those characters?
Okay, so just as you mentioned the backgrounds, I think they're all great as well. The only thing I started to question is, like, is the small desert town the same one every time? Because it almost started to look like the same one every time as they walk through it. It's like, they have some new sets, but no,
They
overall it was
they go
great.
around
The,
to
the
me.
the sets were great. Now here's the thing. I'm coming from a different perspective where I haven't really played Fallout. I've played a little bit. I'm not really that into it. I
Mhm,
didn't feel like it was a great game to me.
mhm.
Having said that, I am loving the show. And I love these type of eclectic, I guess that could be the right word, shows where they have different ideas. Like, so you have this almost feels like a 50s feel with surroundings, like the
Right.
cars and the TV, stuff like that, with futuristic technology. And so I love that how they do those things in shows and in games even at times. And so I think it was necessary because I love Walton Goggins. I think he's awesome. He's done a lot of westerns, and this is kind of what this is set in his character. But I think they do a great job of bringing those who have not played the game into the show, because you
Okay.
have to start out showing, okay, this is what happens in the beginning, and so then you're going, well, how is all this playing out? And then it goes from the back. There's just a lot of time jumping going on. If
Hmm.
you keep up with it, and you can, but if you keep up with it, then you get the feel of, well, this is kind of interesting, because then you're wondering, well, how did he become a ghoul? How does all this play out? What is a ghoul? And so all these things I love about the show. And episode 1 brings me into your space of you
Okay.
playing the game. And so I think that was important to do that, because not everybody played Fallout, right? And so I think that's how they're able to bring us all in.
So
So
you say
the first episode was great.
episode one was like an intro for the people who haven't played Fallout to kind of get.
Absolutely.
Well, that makes
And for
sense.
those who have played, you get to see a little bit of things like, oh yeah, I know. Oh yeah, okay, I know that. I know what that. And so it helps you keep everybody engaged, I think.
Yeah, so I think that's a good call out. I think that's a good call out. But episode 2 is when it starts to really feel like Fallout for me. Right?
Yeah.
So you mentioned the ghoul, and I love the intro of his character. Right? You had these 3, what do you call it, treasure hunters, if you want to call
Yeah.
them that. They've heard myth and legends about this ghoul that can help them find this treasure. That they can all get paid off. So they're trying to tempt him. And he's really cool and collective about it. There's a thing with a chicken there. I thought that was pretty funny. But man, when he comes out, when they first show him, I'm like, wow, he's just like an undead, right?
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
he looks like an undead. Um, when he starts to bounty hunt, right? Because that's what he's doing, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that guy's ruthless.
Yes, he is.
His weapon, he took out that fight in the town. I mean, how many people he took out? He must have took out.
Oh, I don't even know. Yeah.
He took out like 20, 25 people by himself. And mind you, can I tell you, he stood in the center. He wasn't hiding.
That's exactly right.
He was out in the open. And so, there's some story with the brother still. We're not going to go too much into that. But, you get one of them and he goes one-on-one with a brother, one of the robots or one of the
Yes.
armored
Yeah.
suits from the brother still. And he holds his own. So much so that he he pretty much beats him. He doesn't kill him, but he beats him.
Yes.
And I thought it was pretty cool to show that he won the way he won without actually destroying the character, so to speak.
Right. Because they have to keep that going.
So episode 2, a lot happened in episode 2, Magic Mike. I've only seen 2. I'm eager to see 3. And I want to see where it goes from here. Now you have finished the series, right?
Yes, I have.
Right.
And so as we talk, I want to make sure I don't, says even then I combined episode 1 and 2 with the
Yeah.
ghoul. But yeah, I think it's a great TV show. I'm loving a lot of little things about it. And again, I haven't played that game much, but it's just, for me, it's a different show, and they do it great. They do a great job with it.
Yeah. So I'm here. I'm on. You want to know what they gave Rotten Tomatoes? Gave it, by the way.
What?
What do you think? Give me a guess.
Okay, so I'm gonna guess. All right,
Thank you
so
for that.
Rotten Tomatoes, I'm gonna say, which one are we talking about? Rotten Tomatoes themselves, right?
Yeah, the actual Rotten
Okay.
Tomatoes score.
I'm gonna say they gave it a 75.
75. Okay. Well, guess what? They gave it a 93.
Wow, I'm surprised.
Right, and the audience, I'll just go ahead and tell you the audience. The audience gave it an 88. So pretty even there.
Yeah.
And that's great. That's awesome to hear. Like I said, I look forward to seeing more episodes of this. You mentioned Walter Goggins. As he's the one who plays the ghoul.
Mhm.
I've seen him in other shows. I always think he's a great actor. I love the stuff that he does. He does play a pretty good bad guy / evil person. When I do see him, I've seen him in roles where he plays a good guy. I think he plays a better bad guy than he does.
Yeah, he
good guy.
does, especially in the Western feel. Yeah.
Yeah, and he pulls off the Western stuff pretty well.
Absolutely.
So I really did like that. I'm wondering if what do you think? You've seen it all. without giving any type of spoilers, you
Mhm.
think there's a season 2?
Oh, I think there is a season 2. As a matter of fact, I believe they've already been, approved for season 2, if I'm correct.
Oh, wow. Really?
Oh, yeah, I believe so. It's always fun to see when you see different people get that you haven't seen act in a while. Eric Estrada is in this.
Yes.
I won't tell you, I don't remember where we see him. I won't tell you what, but just
Okay.
knowing that he's in there, it's really cool to see that because I'm just thinking back to my old Chips days. Like,
Hey, oh, yeah. I think I have Chip's glasses around here too, by the
yeah,
way. I just
I love him as an actor. But yeah, it's they will definitely get signed on again, especially with a Rotten Tomato score of 93 and audience of 88. That's a pretty good audience score for a show based off of a video game because they don't always do so well.
No, they don't. And so on a side note here, I think the Borderlands movie is supposed to be coming out. And that's an example where it doesn't look great, right? Epic
Yeah,
game,
yeah.
great, great, great. I think they got 4 games or 5 games of Borderlands, and it doesn't look good. Here we got Fallout, and Fallout, I think, is a more complicated game to put a movie to pull off because the game is so deep, right?
Hmm.
Um, but I think they so far so from what I'm hearing, they sound like they pull it off. So far, what I've seen, they've pulled it off. So and for what I'm understanding from Magic Mike is you don't necessarily have to be a fan or know anything about the game. The show itself stands on its own.
Yeah, the show itself stands on its own because we've seen apocalyptic shows, we've seen zombie shows, we've seen these kind of different things, and so because of that, you can prepare yourself for that because that's basically what it's about, the apocalypse, and how that plays out. Having played the game, that you get the little inserts of, hey, look, this is part of that game, so you get excited about these different things. But beyond that, you start to go, oh well, what is that about? And that's okay. I think that's okay if you're not sure what it is, because like I said, as an example, the ghoul, and I've only played a little bit of Fallout. I'm not familiar with the ghoul, and so to see that, I'm like, okay, what does he do? But you can still watch it and check out what that does for the as a role in the show.
Yeah, I'm trying to stay away from any type of spoilers. I've seen stuff that I don't want to know yet.
Yeah.
That from play maybe for you that you don't really know the game, you don't know what it means. But I've seen stuff that's referring to the game. I'm like, oh man, that's why. So I need to hurry up and catch up because I'm gonna end up missing out or getting spoiled on some of the stuff that they're showing there. So I think that they do you think it's a little over the top with the graphicness of the show, or do you think they balance it out pretty well?
No, I think they do a great job with everything, and I have to try to not go too far, because all the there now again, I'll say this: this is not a family friendly show, but they do a great job of with the graphics, with that piece of it, and how they because the goal is missing his nose, so
Yep.
all
It
that
looks
piece
it looks great, by the
is
way.
great. Special effects are great,
Yeah, yeah. So
absolutely.
so I'm looking. I'm gonna go ahead and start to see if I can catch up to you, Magic Mike, and see if I can finish that out in the next couple of days. We got the new X-Men episode uh tomorrow. See if we can watch that. Get that out there. Hey, and Rebel Moon Part 2.
Rebel in Part Two, you got to see it.
Yeah, so you haven't seen it yet, right?
I have seen it.
Oh, okay, okay. One of the few times that Magic Mike's ahead of us. Yes.
One of the few times.
Yes, yes. Hey, and for the crowd, let's get one. I agree with you, Game God. Let's get one just for the crowd.
No, sorry, not going to happen.
So but here we go, man. I think that wraps up this episode.
Yep.
I think we got
There's the
oh, there we
music.
go. There we go. Yeah, I think that's all I had to say. So
Yeah, excited for next week. Excited to have Moose back.
let me tell you something. It feels good to have the powers that Moose have for even if it's just for one episode. So but hey, until next time, go ahead and keep watching the shows we gotta watch.